We go. Welcome back to another Magi Monday, where this week we are talking about the Millionaire's card, the Seven of Diamonds. And today I am so excited to introduce not one, but two very special guests to this episode because the Seven of Diamonds is one of seven very unique cards in the deck of 52. I'll explain more about that in a minute. But first, my name is Andrea Blythe. I'm the traveling magi of Let Love Rise, and I am here bringing you every week of this year, this zodiac year, from spring to the end of winter, a card per week, which corresponds to this calendar known as the Magi Card Science System. So we find ourselves in week 7, and I would love to welcome, not only is this guest a Ace of Spades by birth card. So a May 5th birthday is Ace of Spades, but a Seven of Diamonds planetary ruling card. My friend and creator of these beautiful earrings that I'm wearing, Miss Paris, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you so much. And I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I love to have you here and to have a conversation about the Seven of Diamonds, one of the two semi-fixed cards. So I guess there are technically four semi-fixed cards. It has, as our next guest likes to call it, an alter ego. And the alter ego of the Seven of Diamonds is none other than the card of universal love, the Nine of Hearts. Let's give a warm welcome to a very near and dear person in my heart. She was my very first mentee in Robert Lee Camp's Magi certification program. The one, the only, Casey Coleman, Nine of Hearts. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yes, and Casey is not just a Nine of Hearts. She is a Scorpio Nine of Hearts, giving her Queen of Spades and King of Clubs power. So, Casey, I'm counting on you to have a lot to say on this card. You up for the challenge?
I'm here. I'm here. Give me what you got.
All right. All right. So let's just put a little bit of context. We are talking about the suit of the diamonds this fall season, as is represented. Each suit corresponds to a season. The hearts represent spring, the clubs represent summer, the diamonds are fall. So we are in fall season. And then we will get to the spades once winter comes around, the beautiful solstice and onward. So the diamonds represent our values and our money. So super important to know where the diamonds show up and in what positions they are in your roadmap. So that's the first part. We look at the suit and then we look at the numerology. The number 7 is so powerful, as is the number 9. I'm gonna go ahead and say, why is that, Casey? What makes sevens and nines special in the Magi card science system? Or what would
Oh,
we call
geez.
them?
You're gonna put me on the spot. I know that there's all these different formulas. Well, sevens were what do we have? 7 holes on our body?
Oh yeah. Yeah. See, you're already going way deeper. I was just gonna be like, these are the spiritual cards.
Well, yes, they are definitely the spiritual cards.
But
But I
yeah,
thought you
and
were gonna get technically here's my that's my king of clubs going. Let me overthink it a
yeah.
little bit.
Totally. Let me take this and go super deep with it. But yeah, there are like, and that's kind of wild to think about that, right? Did you guys all hear what she said? 7 holes
Yeah.
on our face.
Or
I mean,
no, on our body.
on
We're
our
five
body.
rays, 5 in our head and 7 in our
One,
body.
two, three, four, five, six, 7 on our face, 9 on our body.
Oh, well, see,
Boom.
look, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So, and which is kind of interesting, right? Like even in and of itself, it's just like, wow. And then in the universe, in our solar system, 7 or 9 planets. I think they say that there are 7 visible to the eye and 9 in total. These are the universal spiritual cards, but specifically the 7 we're talking about today. And its significance is that it falls in the middle of the spectrum. There are 13 cards per suit. There are 13 weeks per season. There are 13 moons in a calendar year. And in the middle of 13, the number 7. the number seven. So they say that sevens have 1 foot in the material world, like Earth, everything, that is all about, everything that we need here on planet Earth. And then the other is really in the spiritual realm. So it's this teeter-totter between the earthly realm and the spiritual realm, is what these sevens experience in their life. And this is around the suit of money. So a lot of it has to do with the millionaire's card is knowing that it drops high and low. And the sooner that a seven of diamonds person, like beautiful Paris here, or anybody who has it in their roadmap, wherever it shows up, as soon as you check in with that higher spiritual side, the better in terms of being able to access the money. This is a great card to have in your roadmap to see where it's showing up for you. Five of Clubs have it as their Jupiter card for life. The Millionaire's card and Jupiter is really big deal. I'm getting into the weeds. What I want to ask Paris is speaking about like this spiritual side, and because it's hard for me to see like what part of it is your ace of spades, which is also very mystical, spiritual, and want to go in there. And then this spiritual side, specifically in regards to your relationship with money and finances, like where do you find yourself on that scale? Like because it feels like there's like a spectrum of worry in there when we're on our earthly side versus when we're holding to spiritual principles. And I know you're such a spiritual soul. So that question makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say up until about a year ago, I was definitely more on the material side and the earthly side of, living in um, making sure I had enough, making sure I work hard enough to be able to have savings and, you know, having
Yeah.
that kind of mentality. Also growing up where I grew up, where during the war and stuff. So, but about a year ago, I kind of just transitioned into the spiritual, like um, allowing the mystery of whatever's going to happen, and
Mm.
knowing that I have enough, that we have enough, my husband and I. And we did a huge remodel, which was, out of our budget, but we managed it and we still came out on top and
Oh,
fine. And like, I just remember the discomfort of sitting like, oh, that's going to cost $10,000, okay, and then being like, that's so uncomfortable, I'm going to just sit with that and just allow that to come and go. It's just a piece of paper. And just
oh.
really sitting in with the spiritual aspect of, I mean, I didn't know about the seven of diamonds for myself, but yeah, and that has transformed my relationship with money. I still feel it a little bit, but it's not as uncomfortable as it used to be.
Yeah, well, and that is a perfect example of that because and the worry, the low side of any seven, if you are a seven, if you have a seven, and if you're feeling that worry, that concern, that overwhelmed feeling, the frustration, the all those low vibe feelings, you know that there is this material attachment that you're like connecting into your ego, and this card truly wants to break you out of that and be like,
Mhm.
listen, you are a human being, just like bouncing through space in an ever expanding universe. You're of this creative source. It's all accessible, but you got to get out of your own way on this one and trust and seek the spiritual aspects of it. Um,
Yeah.
I kind of want to ask Casey this a similar question just around what have you experienced? Because you're the opposing energy. And let me just back up when I say opposing energy, the twin flame energy, the flip side
Mm.
energy. And what I mean by this is there are four semi-fixed cards. So the seven of diamonds and the nine of hearts. When you quadrate the deck, this mystical scientific system, which is what differs the Magi from the tarot, this is a scientifically calculated to you based on the solar energy of your birthday roadmap. There's a quadration that creates what are called the annual spreads, and magically, mystically, every other year, the seven of diamonds is either in the Venus position, or the next year you quadrate it and it moves into the nine of hearts home space, which is the Is it, wait,
Saturn,
Saturn, right? Like I was about to
Saturn,
say
Saturn.
Saturn, and then I was like, is it Saturn? Go ahead. Tell me a little bit about your experience as a traveler between Venus and Saturn, Casey.
Well, just I find myself I being that semi-fixed, I do find myself very kind of like routine oriented, and this I recognize patterns and I like my patterns. They bring me, safety and comfort. And I will go through periods of very spiritual periods and very kind of material periods. And I feel like, like between the seven is about like detachment, and the nine is about letting go. And so it's really, I can get caught up in life and feel myself kind of clinching, and then I have to, take a step back and really reassess, because it's really my fear just getting in the way. And my cards are, I'm a nine of hearts, king of clubs, queen of spades. So I don't have any diamonds other than that seven of diamonds that I,
Mhm.
sit in its position. And so I've never really defined myself as somebody, like, I need this money and that's going to make me, I've never centered money in terms of like my value.
Like that
But
money equals success or money.
right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
But what I do, it's more so I need enough. It's more about like taking care of my family and making sure we have enough. That is what determines, that's what I stake my own value on. And so there is this sense of
Yeah.
value type of thing going on, but less so about money, but taking care of my
Well, I
people.
wonder if that, and I'm going to swing it back to Paris. I wonder if that is more because the Nine of Hearts is the universal giver of love card, right? And it's that constant outpouring of love and caring for others. And that you put the word value, like your value is in caring for your family and making sure all your family needs are met first and foremost. And then the diamond part, the seven of diamonds is secondary to that. Paris, has it ever felt opposite for you that like it felt like money at a certain point? And I realize you are also you're in these critical years right now leading up to 52. You're 52 next year?
50, yeah.
Yeah. So when you're leading up to 52, there's life just hits you.
Yes.
Right? And it kind of like wakes you up a little bit and be like, are my values in the right place? But would you say that you were ever, it's just identified more with money equaling success?
Yeah. I think part of, I don't know if it was just in my cards, in my realm, in my spirit, but or the way I was raised, I don't know. But definitely I saw my dad work hard and
Mhm.
place his value on making sure we had enough. We had food on our table, we had a roof over our head, and just things around money was very uh, tricky. So I think I agree with that, except for until last year where I was like, no, we are changing this behavior. We're changing this mental health, mental status of how I view money and my
Yeah.
relationship with it. So yeah,
That's interesting. So I wonder, I mean, that might be part of this because, and then on the other side of it is it might have, I mean, I do understand that so often for many people, life gets really hard in to wake you up. Like I know
mm-hmm.
that, I sitting here as a traveling magi 5 years ago, not even in the scope of my life whatsoever, but the tragic events that occurred for my soul growth really did propel me forward on this path. And I believe
Yeah,
it's very much like Nine of Hearts stuff that shakes you up. Nine of Hearts is also
absolutely.
Yeah.
known as completions in love, endings in
Mm.
love.
Yeah, I mean, both sevens and nines are the cards of challenges on the material.
Oh,
And me personally, I'm very stubborn. It's like I can see that like my card is one of letting go and detachment, and it's like, but in turn I feel like I have to see it all the way through in order for me to be like, okay, I will let it go. And so it's like the universe really does have to hit me upside the head for me to be like, okay, that's I get your message now. um
I love that you said that you have to see it all the way through because that's something that helps me as a Nine of Hearts. I carry the Nine of Hearts signature as my Pluto card for life, which is meant to transform me. And I remember you saying that when we were together in Florida a couple weeks ago about like, this is just my energy. I have to see it all the way through as a part of the letting go. So it's not like a dunzo and I'm easily letting it go, but your heart has to keep, continue to feed it and see it
Yeah,
through.
I really feel like I have no choice in the matter. It's like the energy is still going, and I feel like this back and forth kind of pattern. I am very connected to the patterns and the rhythms of the earth, and I have to go where that energy is, and I can't on the surface. I can't just say, "Oh, I'm done with that." It's like I am compelled and pulled by this deeper force that to the outside people looking in is like, "What is wrong with her? Like, why doesn't she get it?" But it's really it's some other force that has control, and once the energy ends, it's like I'm all or nothing, because once I'm done, and
Gotcha.
it's like because it's not coming from the surface level part of me.
Yeah. So one question I have for both of you, as these semi-fixed cards, the other semi-fixed cards are the Ace of Clubs and Two of Hearts. Those flip-flop back and forth. And then it belongs to a larger family of seven, including the King of Spades, the Eight of Clubs, and the Jack of Hearts. Those three cards always return to the same spot with every quadration. Nobody but those cards hold that spot. But your cards travel back and forth every year. So I'm wondering from that perspective, do either of you feel like your like life feels that way, that you're in this like life is good and you have like a really kind of fun year, Venus, Venus, and then life can be really hard and you're in your Saturn, Saturn? I see Paris shaking her head.
Definitely. I definitely have felt that in the last couple of years. And if I really think about it, yeah, you have that ebb and flow where things are just flowing. And then all of a sudden, bam, you
Mm.
get hit with some real life circumstances that kind of throws you for a spiral. And then you got to work your way back up again,
Yeah.
you know?
You do have
Yeah.
what about you, Casey? Is that something you experience?
I totally agree. I like if things are going too well, it's like Saturn creeping over my shoulder. It's like it feels like like there's some trick coming that hasn't happened yet. It's hard to stay right here in the good, because I know right around the corner something is going to come. And it is this back and forth.
Yeah.
Uh,
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
they say that Saturn and Venus actually work really well together astrologically. However, as we know it traditionally, Venus is, where the seven of diamonds sits, that Venus position is a really, it's very creative. So I love that. I mean, Paris is incredibly creative. She is a jeweler as part of the many things that you do. You've been doing creating beautiful art and poetry and all of this. So Venus has this beauty and creativity, love energy. And then Saturn is like, I just seen Darth Vader for some reason, like, I am your father, and I'm gonna throw down some like reality checks on you. But it's the heart energy that's sitting in that. So yeah, it's between the two, but Saturn also does, when we develop our relationship with Saturn, Saturn really is like a loving father. Like, this is for you.
Mm.
And it doesn't feel that way. Casey, you had said that these are the challenge cards. And, as a reader, I often say, like, oh, you have a spiritual life path. You have a very spiritual life path. That's code for
yeah, it's going to be rough out here.
exactly. You chose a rough, or like, just like to feel it all. And that's part of it is like, you're just choosing to feel it all and to experience it. And we know that at the depths of that emotional scale it's tragically painful. It's heartbreaking. But we
Mm.
have to get to those depths to soar to those heights, which I hope you also experience. Yeah?
For sure.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I've often said that I feel like I get to experience like these complete depths of love,
Mhm.
just all the way into my being, that I don't feel like I can't speak for everybody else. I'm not in everybody's experience, but I don't know that most people get to experience it. But I think it's only because I feel also the depths of the pain and the lows of the lows. I can't have these great fullness of love and universal connectivity without feeling that whole spectrum of experience. And so it's kind of like you got to take both sides. But like I said, to the outside looking in, people only see when I'm losing my shit, for lack of a better word.
Right,
Like
right,
they're like,
right.
she's a train wreck. What's wrong with her?
Does that
This again.
resonate with
Yeah.
you as well, Paris?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this last year I got hit with the low of the low,
Mhm.
where my youngest brother took his own life out of
Oh,
nowhere and threw our whole family and my like our life upside down. And I don't know if I could get through this, right? But that low of the low taught me like the love and the depth of the love that I had
Mhm.
have for him, right? And so I agree with you as far as those lows create something so beautiful. Through the pain you rise through those ashes, right, and become just a different person. So
Right.
yeah,
Right. And it
definitely.
does, like, I love what you said, like for your brother, it just really illuminates your deep and profound love for your brother. And
Yes.
as a spiritual being, I mean, not only, again, are you that Ace of Spades, which is a highly spiritual card, but both of these cards are Seven of Diamonds, Nine of Hearts, twin flame combo here. Those are spiritual cards that allow you accessibility to connect with your
Mm,
brother on the other
mm,
side in ways, and to open yourself up to what is this showing me? And even perhaps, having somebody who can be on your spirit team and on your spirit guide and that he's paving some sort of way for you to
yeah.
just trust
Yeah,
that even in this tragedy,
that's right.
there can be beauty found in it. And you have to be willing to look. And and
Mm,
and you clearly chose a spiritual life path um,
yeah.
to be here. And so, it's not easy, but through it, when we get through it, and we do.
Hmm.
When you get through it, you are fortified in such a way, hopefully your self-love and then your creativity, because that's where Paris, like a lot of
That's right.
your beautiful poetry and art
Yeah,
has been,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. From
yeah,
the deep pain, you just rise and something
yeah.
create you create something that you just never would have thought.
Right,
So
right. You're like,
yeah,
didn't see that coming.
yeah,
And
definitely.
so I'm one of the representatives of the other 45, right? There are the 45 cards that rotate all around the deck. So the Ace of Spades does that, the Queen and the King that you have, Casey, also do that. However, the rest of us like don't even have a signature of being one of the fixed or semi-fixed cards. We kind of look at your group of seven as, well, we don't look at it. But it might seem like there's a part that we're on the outside of like this inner circle that you have. And Robert Lee Camp actually says that he would say that the seven of diamonds are from another planet.
Ooh.
And therefore, this whole group that there is that. And I think that there's a great awakening happening right now where people are really connecting to as star seeds and from other places and Paris, you're like,
Yes.
yes. Uh, but yeah,
Oh.
that your special group of seven, you share the same karma.
Mm,
Most cards we can read karma based on the solar spreads, but because of how your cards move, they say it's a special family of seven shares this karma. And those who are not in that special family of seven, like we just, like, hey, what's it like? What's going on in there? There's this group that seems to flock together. Um,
oh.
have you and Paris, you might not know as readily as you do, Casey, other people in your life? Have you attracted into your orb or other fixed or semi-fixed beings, cards, people?
So my mom's partner, she's been with him for like 35 years, since I was in like fifth grade. He's an eight of clubs, and he's always been very kind of protective over me. But he's an eight of clubs, six of diamonds, so that would be moon to the seven of diamonds. So I don't know if that's it. And then,
Mm.
um, so I don't know about attracting, like I have a lot of six of diamonds around me, which is like this that
Oh.
moon energy. And then just I know what was he, an ace of clubs that has just been like in love with me. I won't give him a chance though. That's like Saturn to seven of diamonds.
So, and that's interesting because that Ace of Clubs is another one of those semi-fixed cards. So,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, it's a fun thing to examine. Like, who are the people? I was going to sing Mr. Rogers in your neighborhood, but I noticed that my own child is an eight of clubs and happens to be dating a jack of hearts. So that's very interesting too. That that they have found each other and are dating, and they're the same fixed energy card. So just something to be aware of. That's why my favorite question to ask everybody I meet is, "What's your birthday?
Mm.
What's your birthday?" Let me.
But in terms of like us just going back and forth while all the other 45 card, like I often look, I feel like when we move around the spread, those 45 cards, like year after year, you're sitting in a different position. And I look at that like these cards, you get to sit in the position of another card. So you're gaining that kind of perspective of what it's like to be that card for a year. Whereas for us, we are just going back and forth and back and forth. And so we're not gaining that same kind of perspective. And there is a systematic scientific order of the system. And so these cards are kind of following each other around the deck where
Yes, yes.
in my life, I've always had this story is that people come into my life and people always leave, which until I learned the system,
Mhm.
I now understand that that's literally what's supposed to happen. They come in when they need some kind of transformation or whatever they get from the love I give or whatever, and then they go about their way on their way in their order, but we stay still. We attract people, come to us, and then when they need. And so
Yeah,
I've the system has helped me reframe that story and that narrative
that's
I've
huge.
had.
And that's powerful. And that's why I'm doing these weekly cards so that people understand their energy a little bit better. In Paris, I know this is something that we have just scratched like the very, very surface of. And it's something that I hope that will you'll take with you and just consider like how this secondary part of your essence, how it plays out and what the relationships are like. First and foremost with your money and your mindset over money. That is one takeaway for the Millionaire's card. To access the richness of this card, we need to access our spiritual connection and relationship to money. Before we wrap up, I thank you both for your time, for being here. I know you're both on a work break here, so making this happen, it means a ton to me. Is there any advice or comment or I don't know, that you would like to share with anybody to know a little bit more about your essence as a seven of diamonds or nine of hearts, or what it means to be in relationship with you? Mic drop. I probably should have sent you that question in advance.
Goodness, I don't know, it's just life. Don't take it too serious.
Oh, beautiful.
There'll be a next one. This is just our
Ah,
current experience.
yeah, I love how you could say that when all I see with the nine of hearts is waves and waves of heartbreak, and
Yeah.
but don't take it too serious. Let it go. Move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more to come.
That's right.
Like
That's
you said, we're not from the, I really feel like I'm a soul in a body and this is my home. I don't so much connect with my body. It's I'm the one inside. So like I
yeah.
know I'll leave this body and I'll go, whatever the next journey is. I like, and I don't do anything do everything the hard way. So
Wow.
maybe I got the hardest part over with this life.
Yeah, exactly. And the next life you're going to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to pick a different path, like maybe not the spiritual path. What about you, Paris? Anything you want to leave with?
For me, it's the lows come with the highs. So hang in there, ride them out and trust, let go, and just believe that it comes right back. The cycle comes right back up. And I just everything with love. Move
Oh,
forward, everything with love. So
oh, yes, let
yeah.
love lead the way. Let
Yes.
love lead
Yes.
the way. Yeah.
Yes. Thank
Tell
you.
fear. Go,
Yeah,
go.
that's all
I
there
see
is.
you.
Love
I
is
hear
the
you.
only thing that's real. Fear
Mm,
is in our
That's right.
head. Love is the only real thing. And that's all that we're
Yeah,
left with at the end of the day.
that's right.
and that's
That's
why
right.
these ladies represent the spiritual cards, just to put some truth bombs there at the end. Thank you so, so much for being here. Next week, come back for the power of money and finances, the Sun card, the Eight of Diamonds. Until
Mm.
then, here's to love and joy in the journey. Ciao for now.
Thanks, Andrea.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.